What's worthwhile? Healing mind, body, and spirit. I'm Ramsey Zimmerman. I choose peace of mind, vitality of body, and joy of spirit over stress, exhaustion, or overwhelm. Together, let's explore and pursue the many ways to build holistic health and wellness.
It starts with the mind. This is important. The thing that you need most is that mentality of, hey, you know what? I have to change my focus, or this is important to me. Look at the silver lining, right? Look at the positive and not the negative. Okay, what are the positive things, right? Yeah, your workout hurts, but guess what? You finished today, right?
Yeah.
Always looking at the positive outcomes and not the negative. We will hold you accountable and coach you to excellence. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be that accountability factor. We're that motivator, that inspiration, that person that's going to be there, support you and help you, more like a military version of a battle buddy, right? Mm-hmm. Right alongside you, through the fight. We're right there with you through this whole process.
Hey there, it's Ramsey here. That was David Lett. David is the CEO of Dynamic Training Xplosion, a personal training company that he founded in 2018. DTX recently opened an exercise facility for local clients in Lacey, Washington. I got to visit and see it for myself while chatting with David. He has been training and working in gyms for more than 20 years after playing football in college and serving in the military. David and I spoke about more than just DTX and their appointment-only approach to using their shiny new space, but also about the importance of knowing why you want to make changes, the value of guided hard work towards a SMART goal, and the benefits of kind, respectful accountability. I think he has a great approach, a cool space, and a big heart. See what you think. Hey, David, how's it going today?
Hey, it's great. Blessed to be here. Loving it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks so much for the invitation to come out and see you at Dynamic Training Xplosion.
Yes.
Here on location. And we're out here in Lacey, Washington. It's your brand new facility.
Yes.
Describe the room. What's the room like that we're sitting in here right now?
So this room right here, this is we're actually in our weight room area, where we typically will have no more than 2 people here. So it's the feel of, it's my personal gym.
Yeah.
When you reserve your hour slot that you get, unless both people actually have trainers or coaches there, it typically is 2 people. And then we have a floor coach that will kind of monitor people here through their programming, because everyone that comes here has a program. So you're not just here with no guidance. So everyone, and that's the reason why, which makes us very unique, is we want to, what we say in our slogan is, we will hold you accountable and coach you to excellence. So yeah, we thrive in that. And that's why we want to make sure people are guided.
Yeah, very cool. Well, this room we're in here, it does feel like somebody's really nice kind of home gym. It's got some big windows and it's got, a couple mirrors and lots of machines and stuff around, but it's a good size. It's not that big, but it doesn't feel small at all. But man, is this like a dream come true for you for opening up a gym like this?
Man, it is. I've been wanting to open a gym. And me and my daughter, we do a podcast segment called Flex and Bond. You can go check it out.
Yeah.
And so she kind of asked me that same question in one of our episodes, and because she was kind of there through the evolution of it, where I started off when she was a little child, with what we call the My Gym concept with a bear as kind of the logo. Mm-hmm. And then she's seen it more from Elite Sports Performance is what the first name was, where I was more sports specific focused, to when I changed it to Dynamic Training Xplosion, where I did sports and traveled to people's homes and trained. So she kind of seen the whole evolution of it. And so it is definitely a dream come true. And so excited for the opportunity to bring it to the community here in Lacey, because 2 years ago, when we kind of revamped our business model, where we were tailoring for online services, decided, hey, what? I think it'd be better to have a place where people can bring their online program if they have questions to an actual facility where they feel comfortable in a space where they don't feel distracted, but still yet have that guidance, to kind of help them, assist them through that process.
So the company's not new. The space is pretty new, but the
Yes.
company's not new. You've been
Yes.
doing this for a while.
Right.
And it's like so talk me through it. You had sort of a virtual program, but now like this is a place to go to go and do your virtual program that you were doing before.
Yes. So 2 years ago now, we created a app which is called DTX Fitness 360. So you can get it on Google Play or Apple right now as we speak. It's only 99 cents. And so we started off there to kind of do more of a programming. There's more of a generic programming, so we really didn't go into detail with it because we wanted people to seek our coaching online. But yeah, anyone can purchase that. It's in like 7 different languages. But yeah, so we started off that online focus, to where we do the online programming. And so, it came to that point where I was like, hey, how awesome would it be to actually have a location, a brick and mortar, where people could actually come in with their program and not necessarily be with their coach, but have a coach there to help them through when they have those questions. Because you can have your program and say you're at LA Fitness, right? Or you're at, any other gym, I should say. And you're lost and you're like, man, my coach gave me this exercise. Yeah, I may have a link to it, but I'm not really sure I'm doing it right. But to have someone here to actually say, hey, yeah, you're doing it right. This is how you're supposed to do it. Just makes that person feel that much more comfortable.
It seems like kind of a bridge between working out at a big gym versus working out at home. Because at the big gym, there's tons of stuff, but you sort of have to figure it out on your own. And if you're doing it on your own at home, then you need your own stuff. And that's like a huge investment to get all the different stuff. But so then like you have a coach that you're working with on a regular basis, but when you come in here, there is a coach?
Yeah, so there's a floor coach. So we have it tiered. So we have floor coaches, which are aspiring coaches who are pursuing their degree, whether it's in kinesiology or exercise science. So they're here kind of interning most of the time. They get that experience, right?
Yeah.
And then we have our coaches that are actually graduates and have their degree, as well as have their certificates in personal training or strength conditioning coaches. So more of the elite and at least 2 years experience. Then we have our top coaches, which are our lead coaches, which are the ones who supervise our team coaches, which have 4-year plus experience and their degree and their certs. So we kind of brand ourselves. You look at it like Hyundai versus Ferrari, right? So, and that's how I brand us. Like, we're bringing you a service that, yes, it costs, but you're paying for that service. More of an elite echelon of service. Whereas I've been a part of, corporate fitness for over 24 years. And I would see that person coming through the gym when I was a fitness manager at a mega gym. And we just literally watch them and we take polls. Who's going to last, especially New Year's resolutions,
Oh yeah. There must be a rush every January, but tell me more about your background. You've been doing this for a long time. You just mentioned 24 years, but tell me, how did you get into this? Have you always been like fit and physical? And
yeah, well, so just sports has been a big thing in my family. I started off young. My dad played sports in high school, and he always was an avid person, would always take us working out, like mainly running, a lot of running growing up. But as I ventured through elementary and high school and stuff like that, I was a sports guy. So, which my primary sports were football and track. Those were my primary sports, which I also played in college. So that's kind of where I got my start. And really my weight room experience started in high school. Your zero period is what we called it, weight room program, where you had to be there before school started. So that was kind of my start, right, to the gym atmosphere. And then when I got to college, I decided, hey, I want to continue working out. So in the off season, I don't want to pay for a membership. I'm a broke college kid. So how do I do that? Become a trainer.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I did.
Nothing else I can get in for free.
Yeah, exactly. If anything else, I don't care if I train one client. Like, I got a free membership, and I'm in the gym all day. So I can literally train all day and prepare for the season. So that's what I did. And so that's how I got my start back in the 2000, 2001. Yeah, 2000 is when I got that niche in. And then, I just continued that and end up, when I was pursuing going to the NFL and all that stuff, I worked at a gym part-time while I played semi-pro football, and ended up becoming a fitness manager there. And so that's how I got my niche. And fitness has always been a part of my life. So it's a great passion and a drive that I have for it. So.
Well, and so tell me more about that drive and that passion. Like how are you translating sort of what you know and understand about fitness and about sports? How are you translating that into the business? What are some of the core values that you brought to the business?
Yeah, so we have 4 pillars here, and so our motto is we will hold you accountable and coach you to excellence. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be that accountability factor. And when I say accountability, we're not that screaming person at you like, your varsity football coach who's calling you everything in the book but your name, right? No, we're not that kind. We're that motivator, that inspiration, a person that's going to be there, support you and help you, more like a military version of a battle buddy, right? Mm-hmm. Right alongside you, through the fight. We're right there with you through this whole process. And that's what our job is. So sometimes it may hurt when we're blunt and honest, like, hey, you need to focus, or hey, how are you doing in your dieting, or hey, you didn't make it to the gym. Like sometimes you need that accountability because a lot of times people don't have it. And if it's just left on their own, they'll do whatever. Right. Yeah. So we're here to hold them accountable. So, but our 4 pillars are it's the mental strength conditioning factor, which is we start with your mind, like getting over those hurdles, those icebergs, we call them in the military, learning how to shift your mindset when obstacles come. Necessarily look at the silver lining, right? Look at the positive and not the negative. Okay, what are the positive things, right? Yeah, your workout hurts, but guess what? You finished today, right?
Yeah.
Always looking at the positive outcomes and not the negative, dwelling on the negative. So that's one of our pillars. Second is our fitness programming. Like, you're not going to be aimless. You're not going to not have a goal. We're going to make sure you have a goal, which part of our goal setting is having all our clients do a SMART goal assessment, writing your goals down. So one, we know what your goals are, and 2, you know what your goals are. And then we try to achieve those goals that you've set for yourself together as a team. And then nutritional guidance or programming, which is there's no fad diets here at DTX. We want you to eat. We're not paying. We don't do any of those diets, and I don't want to mention names, but we don't do any of those diets. We focus on doing the macronutrients, the science behind it, which are your fats, carbs, and proteins. We focus on that, and then inches, and looking inside internally. So that, and then our last one, 4th pillar is accountability. Kind of what I talked about before. We are going to hold you accountable. We're going to be there with you. We're going to push you. We're going to motivate you. And hey, we'll laugh with you. We'll cry with you. We're going to be your best friend because here you're a family member, and that's the environment that we want to have here. You're not a number. Right. You're not like corporate fitness where they don't care when you come in the doors and they don't care if you do come in the doors. We're the opposite. We care when you're here. We care when you're not here.
Well, I get a vibe from you that you're simultaneously really serious, but also like really kind and motivated around and for people.
Yep.
And so I would say that this is probably not for everybody, right? But who's it for? What kind of people do you have in terms of your clients, and who is it? Who do you think would really benefit and be a good fit for you?
I would say it's that person that has already made up in their mind. Either there's someone who already has health and wellness at the top of their list, right? Where they know it's important to them, and they would go beyond all measures to ensure that they meet whatever goal that is in that arena. And then also those people who say have an ultimatum. They're at the point in their life where they need to make a change, like now, or have negative consequences. So in both of those instances, it starts with the mind. They had to make up in their mind, this is important. So whether you're on one side of the scale or on the other side of the scale, the thing that you need most is that mentality of, hey, you know what? I have to change my focus, or this is important to me.
Yeah. Because in order to have all those commitments that you described before, you really have to believe in what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I think what you described is either someone who sort of has that and has had it for a while, or you're describing somebody who has come to that realization.
Yes.
And maybe not under the best of circumstances, right?
Right.
Maybe it's like you went to the doctor and they're like, well, your blood sugar is getting pretty high. You're trending towards that pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing to hear.
Yes.
First time, right?
It is. And you're literally describing a client that I had when I was in corporate fitness. And so one day my boss calls me over. I'm a fitness manager at this time. And he says, hey, would you mind doing me a favor? We have someone who came in the doors and basically the doctor gave her 3 ultimatums. One was, A, you get surgery. 2, you get a gym membership, or 3, you possibly lose your life.
Wow.
But you have to pick one. So she decided to pick coming to the gym. And so my boss asked me if, we had these intro packages for trainers, right? And at this time I wasn't even training because I had a team of trainers, but I decided to take this one on just because of my passion. And he asked me, so I did. And when I tell you, she was and I've trained, NFL stars, MMA stars, like pro athletes, you name it. She by far is probably my most memorable client just for what happened and how she transitioned. So she went from me training her at the gym. And when I tell you there's days where she motivated me because of her mentality. When she would be, we'd be in a small room because I would take her off the corporate floor and I would take her in a small room and we would train so she felt comfortable. And she would just be constantly giving positive affirmation to herself. Right. And I'm like, wow, like you're inspiring me right now. And so, but it was great. And long story short, she actually ends up entering USA Today's Weight Loss Challenge winner. She actually wins it. Not only that, she becomes a trainer at the gym I trained her at. She lost over almost 200 pounds in total. Wow. Close, roughly. And so that right there that's the most success as a trainer that I feel impact wise that I've had on anyone. So, but yeah, you literally explained that whole scenario.
Yeah, no, that's a great story. So where did you get this sort of mentality from? Where does it come from? What sort of life experiences does it come from? Who influenced you? What influenced you? Like, you've got this huge smile on your face right now. Like, where does this come from? This joy?
Man, you know what? To be honest, I'm a man of faith, and I say it's God given. Like it was something that was born in me. And I'll take an example. I mentioned my dad, and he would take us running a lot, right? That was one of his things. He would love taking us running because he loved like endurance as he got older. He was the baseball player. But, and I remember there was one day he took us to the local track, and we're running miles, and he would just run miles. And we rode the bikes to the track and we ran miles. And so
it's like a biathlon.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you swim while you were there?
Yeah, right. And so which is why I eventually want to do a triathlon. I think that's probably why, just because of kind of that experience, which I will do one day. But there we are. I'm me and my brothers, and there's 3 of us. And fourth is my sister. She's the oldest. But more the boys, right, are running. And so we're running, and I forget what lap we're on. I know we're miles in, I think, at this time. And I may be 7 at this point, maybe 7. And I'm just trying to keep up with him. And, I catch this killer cramp. I mean, I can't even breathe. It's hurting so bad, right? It's like I'm getting stabbed with a knife on my side.
Yeah.
And I'm crying. Like I'm literally running, just holding my side. I'm crying. And my dad's like, just stop. He's like, David, just stop. And I said, no. And my other siblings are over there playing on the field. They're playing games, and I just would not stop. Like,
you didn't stop. Why should I stop?
Yeah, you didn't stop. So why am I going to stop? And this pain, it hurt for that moment, but eventually it went away, and I just kept running. So where that came from, all I can say is it's God given. I didn't, train to do it, right? I didn't plan on doing it. It was just something that's been in me, and that drive has always been in me, from playing college football to I went to 5 different universities, playing college football. At one point, I actually stopped during my career, dropped out, and thought I was going to enter the military, but I ended up going back and finishing up, to not only do I have 1 degree, but I have 3 degrees. Like that's just the type of person I am. I'm always seeking the next thing to challenge me.
How come you moved around so much between colleges?
I say I was in the transfer portal before the transfer portal, right? So, my first school, Chico State University, go Cougs. They cut the football program my freshman year. Then I went to Sac State, which they were recruiting me out of high school as well. But at that time, I was what they call a Prop 48. So I think that's what the term was. My SAT didn't match my GPA. So basically, when I transferred to Sac State, they said you got to sit out a whole year. You got to earn 24 credit units here at this institution before you can play. So I got discouraged. I had a pretty decent senior year, and I'd already redshirted at Chico, so I got discouraged, and I really didn't have a support system there telling me like, hey, this is a great time for you to get bigger, stronger, faster. I ended up dropping out and doing construction with my dad and my brother, and there I was on top of this big. It's a pyramid building in Sacramento. Like if you go there, it's one of the iconic buildings. Every time you see the Sacramento Kings games, they show it. And I'm one of the sanders, so I'm up on this scaffolding, not even tied down. It's so dangerous. I'm sitting there sanding this building, right? And then there's these old guys like, hey, man, like, didn't you play football? Because, I was local guy. So, like, they saw my highlights or something or heard or whatever. And I was like, yeah. They're like, you're too young to be here. Go back to school.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back to school to a JUCO, San Bernardino Valley Junior College. One of my uncles offered me a place to stay. He's like, hey, you can come stay with me to start over. So I did that. I moved in with him and his family. Stayed there for a year and a half. Then I transferred to Central Methodist University in Missouri and just had a horrible experience there. One, it was cold. I'm from California. Never saw that much snow in my life. 2, our program was horrific. The coaching staff was very toxic. We didn't win a game that year. There was one game. So we played a school called Linwood in Missouri. We lost, I want to say it was like 80 something. I don't remember our score, but I'm joking on the sideline. I'm like, if they get to 100, they're gonna have to borrow points from our side. Do the 100.
It's like a basketball game score.
Literally basketball game score. And in that game, I played every single defensive back position in that game.
Oh wow! All at once.
All in one game.
All at once. You're the only guy.
I was the only guy. It felt like me. Oh man, yeah.
So you've had your share of challenges in adversity, because I mean, a lot of I would think that the people that you're describing who come here, who need to come here, they need to make it through some adversity and some challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, when things are hard, like how do you keep going? Like where do you get that? What do you focus on when things are tough? When it feels like that pain is in your side and your stitch, and what is it that keeps you going?
I would say my faith, and I was just having this conversation with, my son, and he's actually, he's walking on at Alabama University as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of shared some of my I do a devotion every morning, which kind of gets me in the right mindset because it gives you a sense of gratitude. So you focus on what's great, like what you're grateful for. So your mindset already is in the positive realm.
Yes.
So you're already thinking, okay, what am I thankful for today? That's my start of my day. Okay. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be a part of this business. I'm thankful for my family, for my wife who works hard, for my children. So when you wake up in that mindset and you force yourself to see things in that light, it kind of helps you. And then which leads me into when I do my journal, then I do my devotional time where I lead into my scriptures. And one scripture I read this morning actually was when Jesus was telling his disciples, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can tell this mountain, be thou removed or cast into the sea without doubting, and it will be done. And nothing will be impossible for you. Nothing.
Yeah.
And so, and that's kind of what I was sharing with my son today, because, he's trying to earn his way and earn a scholarship. I told him if he just keeps the mindset that he has, focus on the end goal, focus on where you're going to be. Don't focus on the journey. Trust the process, because it's a process in between that journey. But while you're in it, don't focus on the moment. Focus on the destiny.
Yeah.
And envision that. And when you envision that, it helps you have your why. Because a lot of times why people fail is because they don't have a why.
Yeah.
What's your why? What's your reasoning? And so, part of our, that's why I kind of expressed our when we ask for our SMART goal, is because that's your why.
Yeah. What
is your why? Why are you here? What do you want to do? And when you focus on that and you change your mindset, like, hey, yeah, it hurts now, but kind of like my client I was telling you about, she saw her end state.
Well, and if you walk in your why is like, oh, because my doctor told me I had to.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's only the first part of it. That's not enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
That like so I think, so I agree with so much with what you're saying. And I think intention is really important, right?
Yeah.
Having intentions. Yep. And I also think that the two greatest motivators in life are love and fear.
Yep.
And I really hate to be motivated by fear. Like, it seems like nothing good ever comes from what you do when you're motivated by fear, right? But nothing bad ever comes from things that you do when you're motivated by love.
Yep.
And so even if, you have a negative motivation, like the doctor told me I need to get a hold of my health, there's reasons underneath that. It's like, why do you care about your health? It's not because you don't want to die and fear death. Like, okay, fine, everybody, but you want to live. Do you want to live? Do you want to live for your family?
Yep.
Do you want to live for yourself? Do you want to, see your grandkids grow up? Like finding and understanding and working with people to sort of understand what those things are, because those are going to be the great motivators.
Yep. And so when we call those level 3. So we have them in levels, right? So level 1 is like, I want to lose 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. Level 2 may be, well, I want to lose 10 pounds because I want to look good in my suit. Okay.
Yep.
So now it's more of an appearance thing. Level 3 is, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds because I want to be able to keep up with my kids and their activities when they're running around and be involved with my family. Right.
Yep.
So that's that level 3 motivator. And so that's what we look for. Like when we're talking to our clients, like, what is that level 3 motivator? Yeah. You want to lose 10 pounds. Okay. Well, we need to get more.
Yeah. Why?
Below the
surface.
Do
you want to lose 10 pounds?
Yeah. Because just like you said, that love, that reason, people around you, your support system, those are typically your driving forces. Right. And just like you mentioned, or whether you just want to live longer to be around to enjoy life, right? That's a motivator.
Yeah. So you're looking for new clients these days, I imagine?
I am. I'm looking for new clients every single day. And the thing is, like, we want people who want to be here. Like, I'm not looking just for any clients, right? I often, tell people when they come in these doors.
Do you vet your clients?
I do. And I try to be honest, and kind of like I gave you the analogy of Honda and a Ferrari. Like, we're not the $10 gym. If that's what you're looking for, this is not the gym for you.
Yeah.
If you're looking to just kind of come in here and casually do something at your leisure, that's not this gym. We're here with people kind of how we talked about earlier, who have a mindset on they're ready to take that step, or they've been taking that step towards health and wellness.
So if people think that maybe this might be a good option for them, how do they get started? What are the next steps for them?
So the next steps would be just to contact us. We're on Instagram. You can actually Google us. We're on Google. I'll say that would be the first thing. Just Google us. all our stuff will come up. So Dynamic Training Xplosion. Our website is DTX Fitness 24x7.com. So you can look us up on there as well. Has our phone numbers. Just stop by. I would say the best thing to do, just stop by, because you can look at stuff online in all day, but until you actually come in and feel the space and the environment, it's kind of like test driving a car, right? You can look at a car online all day, right? You can, it looks pretty, looks great. But then until you actually get in there, put your hands on that steering wheel, smell the interior, and take it for a test drive, then that's when you fall in love with the vehicle, when you actually become one with it. So.
And we're out here in Lacey off of Martin Way Road.
Yep.
Right? It was really easy to find. To find. Got in here, and we're in the space with the weights and training equipment. You've also got some cardio stuff in the other room and a few other nice little amenities. Yeah. No, this was great. I'm so glad I had a chance to meet you and hang out a little bit.
Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, man. Have a great day.
Hey, you too.
Where to go from here? Visit whatsworthwhile.net to learn more about me, Ramsey Zimmerman. And please reach out to me and let me know what you think. I don't want this podcast to be some message in a bottle thrown out to sea. I want to hear back from you. Please send me a message or an email or hit me up on X, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And please leave a rating and review for the What's Worthwhile podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Amazon. Thanks.